Hey everyone, it's Michael. Today I'm going to be talking about another Goosebumps book, so I think a lot of people will be excited for that because I'm actually living up to my name, Michael GoosebumpsFan. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about Night of the Living Dummy 3, which I was so stoked for. Oh, my shirt matches. I didn't realize that until just now. I went to work in this shirt. Now I've got it here. Anyway, Night of the Living Dummy 3, this was excellent. This was so good. And the best thing about it, right? This is one of those things that I was a huge fan of the show. The show, I think, is what got me more into Goosebumps than the actual books themselves. I didn't read many of the books when I was growing up, but I loved the show. Used to rent the VHSs all the time at Hollywood Video here in my local Hollywood Video that was around. I liked Hollywood Video more than Blockbuster. That was just how my family and I rolled. You may find that blasphemy. I don't care. Anyway, I had a DVD for like 15 years of my life, if not longer, of Night of the Living Dummy 3. Of course, this is the same one that's basically put on VHS as well. I love this episode. I think this is the most high-budget and best quality episode with the writing, the acting, everything. You even had Hayden Christensen in this, or whatever his name is. The dude that played Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars. He was here. This was such a good episode. And the thing that's even better about this, and what I was gonna say from the get-go that's better, this is different from this. You can watch this, or you can read this and have a completely different experience, basically. There's so many differences, and both are great. It's both great. It's one of those very few things that you can have, it's not like Star Wars, the original versions, getting re-released, where the old originals are great, the new ones are bad. It's not like that. It's like, both are excellent and well done in both ways. Both feel like Goosebumps. And at the same time, both feel similar in the beginning, in the setup, but the execution is completely different. It's so cool. It's like R.L. Stine must have had a little bit more input, or they had a completely different writer. I don't know, but they had to do some constraints to make an easier to film thing for the TV show. I will hands down say, out of the slappy books that I've read in Goosebumps, across the board, across all of the different series and whatnot, like Series 2000, which I haven't read anything of, but my experience with classic Goosebumps and, so on to Most Wanted, this is my favorite Night of the Living Dummy book, period. I'm so shocked by how good this was and how eerie it was at times. There are reveals in this book at times that I think are absolutely so well executed. Better than the episode at times. Then on other points, the episode's better. I love the episode because it reminds me of my cousins and I when I got into ventriloquist dummies when I was a kid. Just the old house that's filmed for that episode, it reminds me of my grandmother's old house, even though hers wasn't, like 3 stories like this thing. But the episode is so great. I love everything about the episode. It's just so close to being perfect. And even the goofier parts of it are great. But the book itself is so good. Basically, the premise, for anybody who doesn't know the story of this, is that you have a boy and a girl, brother and sister, Trina and Dan. Trina is our main protagonist that we see everything through. Dan is her little brother. And then you have the mom and dad. And the dad was apparently a ventriloquist for a while. He had to give that up and open up a camera shop, basically. So he's kind of like meandering in his own life, but the kids are just kind of, they're a little scared of the dummies themselves. They don't really think they're cool like how the TV episode does, where they feel like that in the episode, I mean. Trying to make it more clear for you. But they have a cousin and an uncle who come in to stay with them, and in the episode, the uncle didn't stay. It was just the cousin, Zane. Zane is a kid that basically Trina and Dan have bullied this kid to death because of just pranking him, and they possibly have been too mean to him, possibly upset him a lot more like that. And that's understandable. That's a cool premise in my opinion. You have the bullies being the main characters here. You don't have just a hero good guy kid. It's not like that here. This is the main kids being bad kids, period, being the bullies, and Zane comes to visit, his cousins, or their cousin, Zane, whatever. And he comes to hang out, so does the uncle, and weird things start to happen. Of course, before Zane came in to stay with them for a little while, with his uncle, or with his dad, the main character Trina and Dan's uncle, essentially their father, who used to be a ventriloquist, actually got a new dummy. And they found a card in its pocket, they read the magical words, and now weird things are happening around the house. They don't really know what it is. Now, certain aspects of this, if you've seen the episode and you love the episode as much as I did and do to this day, certain things are going to be relatively spoiled for you. I mean, that's kind of how it goes when you watch an adaptation of a Goosebumps book as an episode. It's just kind of how it goes. However, this is great. The differences, like for example, I'll give you a great example. There's a dream sequence in here, and there's only like just the one, and it genuinely creeped me out. It genuinely, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my experiences with ventriloquist dummies that I have in the past, or just the ideas of certain ones here. It's just so, I don't know. I don't want to spoil the dream for you, but when you read it, you tell me you don't get relatively some chills popping up on you, man, because Goosebumps proved to me right here that the classical series is not as tame as I thought it was. Tame in the sense of being scary. I don't think the old ones are that scary. I think the new stuff, like Most Wanted, especially Wanted the Haunted Mask, they can be creepy. They can have some gore to them. They can have some things that just get to you or get under your skin or anything like that. This really, really shocked me. I'm dumbfounded by how good this book was. This was an excellent Goosebumps book. If you have not read this, I would put Night of the Living Dummy 3 on par with like The Haunted Mask 1 and 2, or The Wanted the Haunted Mask, which I think is personally my favorite Goosebumps book of all time now. Night of the Living Dummy 3. Dummy 3 is so great. I would put it up there with the best of the best, easily. And a lot of people feel like that with the classical Goosebumps compared to anything new nowadays anyway. But no, for real, this is excellent. This is an excellent read. It's so well written, it's fun. I'm more familiar with Trina and Dan as characters because of my obsession with the DVD that I just showed you. The episode is incredible. Once again, like I said, please check it out if you haven't seen it before. But for real, if you haven't even seen the episode, read the book first. This is excellent. R.L. Stine does not get enough credit for this kind of book right here. This is so, so good. I love this. I don't want to spoil anything for you. I don't want to tell you anything about it because I don't want to ruin anything for you. One thing that I think is really weird, in the TV episode adaptation, they had Rocky dressed up as a mobster, right? He kind of talks like Sylvester Stallone even. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a cameo thing. I don't know. But he, in here, has like a red and white striped shirt. It's really odd. There's so many giant differences that change the personas of the different characters involved in the story and everything for me. It's just really weird. Even the ending. The ending is very, very different from the episode. Very different. So again, if you've not read Night of the Living Dummy 3 by R.L. Stine as part of the old Goosebumps classical 62 episode or 62 book series, you need to read this. This is an incredible, fun, just amazing read. I could not recommend this enough to you folks. Such a good time. What are your thoughts on Night of the Living Dummy 3? Put your thoughts and comments down in the comment section down below, folks. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. If I had to rate Night of the Living Dummy 3 by R.L. Stine on a 5-star basis, I love some Goosebumps. Not the biggest fan of the classical Goosebumps, even though that's what I grew up on, you know, in the 90s and in the early 2000s and stuff. But I would easily give this a really high rating as a 5 out of 5. I think this is an incredible read. I'd put it up on the level with something like Horrorland or Haunted Mask, like I said, or even the newer stuff, like the great good newer stuff, like Wanted the Haunted Mask. This was so good. So good. Probably one of the best, most iconic things that have ever existed from this series. And I love how many dummies are in here, too. That's the big difference. It's not just like one other one. Because like Night of the Living Dummy 1 and 2 are kind of the same story, just a little bit changed, just a little bit. Certain aspects are a little bit more drastic than others compared, you know, on either story. This one is like a completely different tale. Almost completely different. Not just because it has more dummies, but just with the whole setup of the story. Like I said, the cousin coming to visit and all that. Really cool. I have so many nostalgic memories about the episode, and I love this book now. I think maybe I had read the book one time when I was a kid. But honestly, with the ending being so different, I would be shocked if I ever read this at all, because it's so not like a happy-go-lucky type ending like Goosebumps tends to have. It's actually kind of surprising. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Night of the Living Dummy 3, guys? Put your thoughts and comments down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. Thank you for watching. Again, 5 out of 5 stars, folks. If I didn't make that clear enough, you need to pick this up. If you're ever going to read a Goosebumps book, pick out this one. Great one. Thank you, guys. God bless you today, and goodbye.